What exactly are you thinking about when choosing a comedian or selecting a lineup? And are you looking at the headliner and trying to figure someone that would complement them, or audience bringer, or
Um, Probably compliment them more than anything else. You want somebody that, and if I say you, I obviously am talking about myself, but I look for somebody who's going to be unique enough that they're not going to, like, comics love to talk to the host in the feature and tell them what not to talk about, because I don't want, I as a headliner don't want you to talk about stuff I'm going to talk about later. Like, one of my favorite comics in the world, Jimmy Pardo, makes sure that you don't book people who do crowd work in front of him, because he does a lot of crowd work. And so you find somebody who's complimentary, has a style that's not going to turn people off from them. If you've got somebody that's dirty, you can go dirtier with the host or the feature. If you've got somebody that's squeaky clean, you're not going to book somebody crass or somebody that even swears. You got a Brian Regan headlining, you're not going to book somebody dirty. You got a Rich Voss headlining, you're going to book somebody who's at least a little crass. You're not going to book somebody who's going to do his kind of stuff, obviously. But you try to find that nice middle ground. That's what's so fun and challenging about being a booker, is you want to put together a show that I often try to put together a show that I would pay to see, because if I've been doing it this long and I would still pay money to see a show, then it's probably going to be a really good one. So I try to find somebody that's got a style that doesn't trample on the headliner, but complements it in enough ways that it's um, complimentary. Does that make is that
no, it totally makes sense. And as when I was a younger comedian, just to go with that, is the way that I found myself more work was that I was versatile. So when I would open for a Rick Shapiro, I knew that I had to say a couple curses, otherwise Rick wouldn't go over so well as an opener. I would
yeah.
need to kind of take away some of that edge. But if I was opening for uh I can't think of some cleaner comics that I opened for. I was always squeaky clean unless it was appropriately needed.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're especially if you're talking about your local scene that you're working in, it's always a lot easier in that local scene. If you're a Philly comic and you can tell me or show me that you can do both, you're getting on 2 weeks in a row on the open mic. You do a week of clean jokes and a week of dirty jokes, and you say, hey, I can open for anybody. Check this out. Or you say, I can always take those F bombs out if you need me to. If you want me to open for somebody that's a little, cleaner, I'll do it. I can also toss more in if I need to.
It's good to know. It's good to know, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
good
good.
to.
That's an important thing to communicate. And I feel like, unfortunately, that's tougher to communicate to someone when you're trying to get out of town work. But if you're local and you've got a good scene in wherever you are, and especially if you have receptive bookers who are like, I think all the Heliums, the booker runs the open mic. So you're able to communicate, at least I always did when I was there. Communicate to the person, and B, show them, it's almost immediate gratification, for lack of a better phrase, than hey, I can be clean, I'll send you a clean tape and a dirty tape. Hey, which would you like me to show you this week? I see, Rich Voss, I see Bob Kelly's coming in 6 weeks. I'd like to open for them. You want me to do a dirty set to show you I can work with their crowd?
I mean, I think that a clean set that destroys is an opportunity to be able to work anywhere.
It's nothing better.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
makes it opens the door. When I really started working 100% clean, I was getting more charity, more fundraiser hosting than I could possibly wave a stick at, and that was affording me more opportunities.
right.
And just
And
to head,
and
sorry,
like
go
you
ahead.
said, you can always toss a few. You can always toss a few cursing
talk
and
to there.
cussings in there if you have to, you know, drop that F-bomb at the end of a joke that normally would make nuns laugh, you know, just because you have a crowd that needs it. But if you've got that clean 15, 20 minutes that you can do anywhere at any time, that's it's gold, Jerry. It's gold.